Hi, it's DalaDFitness with day 15 of Let's Get Personal. It's also my sister's birthday today. Happy birthday, Emily. Love you. So today I am talking about part of my exit plan. It wasn't really my plan. I knew I was leaving, but the timing wasn't on my timing. Like I was saving up to get my own place. As I said yesterday, I had to use it to get a car because he kicked me out of the car that we supposedly own. So then I went and got my own car with my own finances. So then I had to resave. I was working as a in-court clerk at the courthouse down in Florida, and I was also working as a cashier at a restaurant. I was bartending on the weekend because I had did my bartending training and had my certification for that. And I was also doing like serving, and I was still doing hair. So it wasn't just, it was like 4 jobs. I was still doing hair on the weekends too, squeezing in appointments because I do hair too. I did hair more back then than I did now because I was like, yeah, I need money. I need lots of it. So I was saving up for my place. I was looking at apartments, and okay, so that money's building. Like, okay, I'm still looking with the realtor for places to rent. So my ex-husband and I got into an argument. I don't remember why. I just don't know. That's what we did. We argued. So we got into an argument, and he told me to get out the apartment that we were living in together. So he's like, get out. And I was like, let me grab my things. Because, y'all, I have things. I have my shoes. I have my clothes. You know, those are very important to me. I was like, let me grab my things. And I had, like, personal items. I had other items that I wanted to have time to grab my things. So he was like, no, get out. So I called my brother, and I said, Tony, I have to leave this place. And my brother was like, just go, forget that sugar honey iced tea. Like, my family used profanity. I know I don't, but my brother was like, forget all that. So he's like, forget all of it. So I was like, okay, whatever. I grabbed whatever shoes I can and a few clothes, because I was like, I need clothes, and I left. And I don't know how I got in contact with my friend Maggie at that time, because at this time, my parents weren't living in the same area with me. So I couldn't just go to my parents' house. They moved. So I called my friend Maggie, and she was like, girl, you can stay with me. And so she was about 45 minutes away, maybe an hour west from where I was and where I worked. So I went there, and then I think a day, I'm not sure if it was a day or 2 days later. So, at backstory, at this point, we were ready to divorce. As I said in my immigration story, we had to divorce for me to get my green card under my dad. So we're divorced, and when is this, 2008? So we're divorced, this is in 2008, because we got our green card in March 2008. I remember that. That's a very significant date for me. So I don't know the timeline. It's sometime after March 2008, definitely before the holidays. It wasn't cold, but then again, it's Florida. When is Florida ever cold? So I went to my friend Maggie's house. I had a few things. I just left it there, and I was going to rent a room from her. So then a few days later, my brother, which is my sister's ex-boyfriend and the father of my two of my nieces, Camille and Kanita, he worked for a trucking company. So I said, God is perfect. So he used one of the trucks with the trucking company, and he took me over there to get my things. And as I'm getting my things, my ex is there, because he's like, get your and get out. Like, listen, you don't have to tell me 2 times. Like, you only need to tell me once for me to know I'm not wanted, okay? So I'm grabbing my things. My brother is like packing up things and putting them in the truck. My brother Mello, his name is Carmelo, by the way. He's grabbing things. He's really my brother-in-law, but we call each other brother. So he's grabbing things, putting them in the truck, and then I'm grabbing my computer because I bought the computer. And I used the computer to find jobs because I was working I was doing part-time jobs, so that's how I found gigs. I was working gigs. So I'm packing up the computer, grabbing everything, and here comes my ex with like, I don't know what tool he used, with a wrench, and he takes it and like slams it into the computer monitor. And I screamed. He did that, and he ran. And I screamed, and I ran after him. And he immediately gets in the car, and I take my fist and I slam it against the car door. Like, all my energy wanted to break the window and like punch the sugar honey iced tea out of him. I was so pissed. I don't like getting that mad, but I was so mad. And my brother, I'm not going to, like, Mello was like, he's like, what happened? He's like, did he hit you? Like, he said, did that N-word hit you? I was like, no, he broke my computer. He was like, man, fuck that shit. He hurt you. And I was like, okay, you're right. So we stopped. So yeah, I had to say his words. I couldn't paraphrase that. Like, F that sugar honey iced tea. It doesn't sound the same. So he was like, forget that. Take your stuff and let's go. Forget that N word. So we packed all my things and we left. And I went to my friend Maggie's house. I stayed there for about a week or so, maybe. But I was going through so much with the transition and not having a home and that relationship ending. It ended a long time ago, but I mean, it's over. And I'm still dealing with him calling me and harassing me and hounding me. And there's more. I had to get restraining orders and everything. And the drive and the traffic, I was going to work and it was just, I was hyperventilating, like going to work. I had so much anxiety. And I was like, man, I can't add this drive onto my stress. The traffic, I was like, I can't. Like, I just thinking about it, I would sit in the car and I would like cry because I was like, I can't do this. Like, I don't like this space that I'm in and I can't breathe. So then I called my brother, Tony. This is my biological brother. I called Tony and he was living with my sister-in-law, Joanne at the time, who's the mother of my niece, Brianna. They're not together anymore, but she's still family. She's my sister. So I called them and I was like, okay. Tony was like, just come stay here. And Joe was like, yeah. So they gave me their bed and I was sleeping there with my niece, Brianna, and they would sleep on the floor. So I just share that to show how much your family, people really care for you. And when you're in your time of need, they'll be there for you. Let them be there for you. We think that, oh, we're in this situation and we're stuck. And in my story, in my case, that wasn't the case. I had so much support from my friend Maggie, to my brother-in-law Mello, to my sister-in-law Joanne, to my brother Tony, of course. My dad came. My dad is there. He was there all the time, at all times. My mom was in Ocala, but I can call her and talk to her. My sister Lucy, I stayed with Tony for a little bit. Then I stayed with my sister Lucy and Mello for a little bit. Then I stayed with my dad because he had came back and was renting a room from somebody. Funny story about that I'll share later. But I was like bouncing house to house. But my family took me in. I had all my stuff in the storage, so whenever I needed like work clothes or whatever, I would just go to the storage and grab it. At that time, it was what it was. And I have to shout out my cousin Michelle, because before I went to grab my things from the apartment, there was a point when I couldn't get back in the apartment. Like, I literally left with no clothes for work. I can't remember what I grabbed. I was in such a hurry. I grabbed a few things, but not enough clothes for me to actually go to work with. So I was like crying. I was like, I don't have anything to wear to work, and he won't let me in the apartment to go get he's mean like that. And my cousin Michelle was like, gosh, why do people have to? She was just like, come in my closet and grab something to wear. So I went in her closet and I grabbed clothes to wear to work, and I went to work. Don't let people stop your blessings, because they can't, okay? So I had to share that story because my cousin Michelle showed me like, okay, yeah, people really, really can be there for you. Like, you can really, because at that point I was like, I'm not gonna depend on nobody. I can't be in this like vulnerable position anymore. But when I was down, I had like help from everywhere, from my family, extended family. Now they're all my family, cousins, brother-in-law, sister-in-law. Like, they'll always be a part of my life because they're a part of my story then and now. So I just shared that. It's so much. If I shared all of it, this video would be, it might as well be a book, okay? So I'm going to end with that note. At this point, I am going house to house, staying with my dad. I was staying with my brother, some nights here, some nights there. And this was in 2008. Stayed with my sister for the longest, with my sister and brother-in-law for the longest. Then I ended up staying with my dad. I'm still looking for apartments, turned into condo shopping. So eventually I get something. I find a condo. I'm going to share that story tomorrow. Have a good day.